The Cupra Ateca is a high-performance small SUV, similar in concept to the Volkswagen Tiguan R, only that smug German aura is replaced by a spicy Spanish look and feel. Let's see what it's all about. Priced around $66,000 drive away, the Cupra Ateca is available in only the top-spec VZx trim level and is very much a luxury vehicle purchase. Rivals include the BMW X2 and Audi Q3 Sportback. But because it's almost as big as a mid-size SUV, you could throw the Tiguan R, Genesis GV70 and even the Tesla Model Y into the competitive set, all of which are a bit more expensive. Unlike the Cupra Formentor, which was a runner-up in our Car of the Year awards in 2022, the Ateca has a more conventional design. The front end could be mistaken for an Audi, that's a good thing, and golden highlights on the badges, 19-inch alloy wheels and optional $4,050 Brembo brake calipers look great. I really like the sporty rear-end design, complete with the roof spoiler, sleek LED taillights with animated indicators, and the optional Akrapovic exhaust system. We've got a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, which is the same donk from the Tiguan R, but in this case it's got a little bit less power. However, this is still faster from 0 to 100 than the Tiguan R. Takes just 4.9 seconds, which is very zippy. There's also an optional Akrapovic exhaust system on this bad boy, which is a $6,000 extra, but it doesn't add any extra performance. So, is it worth the extra coin? Find out soon enough. Engine power is transferred to all 4 wheels via 7-speed dual clutch transmission. First impressions, well, this is a pretty cool cabin that exudes a sporty, high-end look and feel. I mean, the steering wheel, the seats, and the twin digital screens, it's not bad. So yeah, the seats are awesome, not only in shape and support with these big bolsters, but also the materials. The blue leather is super supple, and the gold stitching is a nice touch. There's power adjustment for the driver, but not the passenger. My favourite element though is this steering wheel. It looks kind of like something out of that Stargate movie. I mean, check out these gold highlights and the logo. The Cupra logo looks like an alien spider. But then you've got the perforated leather flanks here, the gorgeous copper stitching, and I love the fact the Go Fast button is here and even the engine start button over here. It's very exotic. Storage solutions are pretty good, starting with a pair of differently sized cup holders and moving on to this useful knickknacks area, which has a super secure wireless phone charging pad. There's also a 12-volt socket and twin USB-C ports. You get a cramped storage bin under the armrest, a big sunglasses holder and a mid-sized glove box with a secret stash area and reasonable door pockets. The central touchscreen is a 9.2-inch unit that's really easy to use, intuitive, and the graphics are super sharp, and it's all very responsive. But lower your eyes and that ultra-modern look gives way to some rather average-looking plastics, and these controls feel really crappy. They wouldn't pass muster in a Volkswagen Polo, and down here the plastics are really hard and unforgiving as well. It does detract from the experience. The native sat-nav is pretty clever, and while the text suite is rather good, it does miss out on a head-up display. But it does get this crystal clear 10.25-inch digital driver's display, which is highly customizable like most of them offered by the Volkswagen Group. And it's even got a lap timer, so you can tell just how quickly you're hacking around Mount Panorama. The reversing camera is pretty clear, and you get a 360-degree bird's eye view and a couple of different angles from the main camera. It also has an auto parking option, plus front and rear parking sensors. The safety suite is pretty healthy with almost everything you could want except for traffic sign recognition, which provides real-time speed limit details. This is pretty good in the back seat. There's really good legroom. I've got plenty of headroom. although that would be a lot less if you optioned the sunroof. And these headrests are just, they're so squishy and comfortable. You could really have a snooze back here. And the seat contouring as well, really, really nice. Amenities, not bad. You've got twin air vents, twin USB-C ports, and the obligatory fold-out armrest with cup holders. The reading lights are pretty good. The dial to operate them, not so much. And you also get twin ISOFIX and a trio of top tether child seat anchorages. Open this power-operated tailgate and you'll find a surprisingly generous boot. This is actually quite big for what is a relatively small SUV, but this model, because it has the optional Brembo brakes, does not get a spare tyre, which is a great shame. Instead, you just get the inflator kit. There's 2 bag hooks, an LED boot light, and these hidden tie-down anchorages. Quick release rear fold-down seats are handy to open up more room as well. Okay, time to see if this performance SUV lives up to the Cupra name. Cue the music, maestro. So first things first, let's talk about the exhaust pipe. It sounds pretty gruff and makes a nice burble between gear shifts, but at $6,000, it's like 10% of the cost of the car. You kind of want it to do your tax as well. That's a lot of money. And yeah, look, I suppose you get the nice large big bore quad exhausts at the back. They look pretty nice. Got the Akrapovic emblem on them, but I don't know, $6 grand. I'm not sold. But there's no denying this SUV has pace. Push the loud pedal to the floor and yep, she likes to boogie. If you like fast cars, you're gonna like this, which delivers awesome acceleration and has great throttle response. Cupra means cup racing, so the expectation is that the dynamics will be engaging and fun. The reality? Well, it's actually pretty cool. It tips into corners quite sharply and then punches out of them with a satisfying mix of thrust and tyre grip. This is surprisingly fun. The all-wheel drive system contributes to its impressive road holding and stability, and while it's not as dexterous as the Cupra Formentor that went close to winning Car of the Year 2022, it is a very balanced SUV. Turn off sports mode and the adaptive dampers dial back suspension stiffness, and even with the big 19-inch wheels, ride comfort is more than satisfactory. There's also an individual mode that allows you to choose more aggressive drivetrain and steering settings, while having more relaxed settings for the shock absorbers, for example. I love that you can go absolutely burko in this car, but then hit this button on the steering wheel, chuck it in comfort mode, and you can get around quietly and smoothly. And it becomes a more useful family SUV. And you know what? It's remarkably flexible. It's a very, very good jack of all trades, if you like. However, if you drive it like you stole it, which admittedly is a lot of fun, fuel consumption can get out of hand. But flick on cruise control or trundle around with a light touch on the throttle and you'll find the Ateca can be quite thrifty. Unlike some sporty SUVs, all-round visibility in this car is really good, and that's because it's got quite upright windows, so out the front, out the sides, and especially head checking out the back. It's surprisingly good. Another thing I like about it is the autonomous driving systems. You can set and forget. It's got the autonomous steering, adaptive cruise control, and yeah, not bad. The only drawbacks as I see them include the high-ish asking price and some thumping noises when the sporty tyres encounter rougher surfaces. The Ateca is covered by a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, which is pretty standard these days, but service costs are super affordable. The first 3 years of servicing are free, with a further 2 years adding $1,200. Okay, so it doesn't look quite as cool as its Formentor relative, nor is it quite as dexterous, and some of the interior finishes feel pretty dated. But this is a more versatile vehicle with a bigger boot, more interior space and a higher ride, which is good for curb hopping in the suburbs. It's also more affordable than its twin sibling, the VW Tiguan R. And while you can find cheaper performance SUVs out there like the smaller Hyundai Kona N, the Cupra Ateca brings a refreshing Spanish persona to the table. That it's one of the most involving to drive small SUVs out there make this well worth taking for a test drive. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed that. You can check out more videos here and here or on the Car Sales YouTube channel. And if you want all the news up to date when we're publishing new stuff, don't forget to subscribe.